Welcome to STORIQ, a place where stories find their voice and imagination knows no boundaries. Enter worlds of mystery, horror, romance, adventure, and wonder brought to life through immersive audio stories. Put on your headphones and let the story begin. Some houses keep memories, some houses keep secrets, and some houses keep the dead. When Mumbai archivist Esha Karekar inherits a mysterious coastal mansion from a grandmother she barely remembers, she expects nothing more than an old family property. Instead, she finds a lantern that lights itself. Paintings of women who look exactly like her, some painted decades before she was born. A locked room that opens by itself. And a 12-year-old girl named Diya, who died almost a century ago, but never truly left the house. The villagers have only one warning: never light the lantern. But when Esha does, the house begins to remember. And the face staring back at her from the mirror is not her own. The Lantern House, by Anjali Rao. It was nearly dusk when Esha Karekar received the call. She was working at the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya archives in Mumbai, cataloguing Marathwada letters, when her phone vibrated. The number was unfamiliar. The location read, Ratnagiri. "Miss Karekar," said a low, formal voice. "This is Advocate Uday Keni, calling from the Ratnagiri District Court. I regret to inform you that your grandmother, Vasundhara Karekar, passed away 3 days ago." Esha sat completely still. Her grandmother. The name brought back fragments of childhood, dark verandas, the smell of sandalwood, and a woman her father rarely spoke about. "I didn't know she was still alive," Esha whispered. "She lived privately," Keni replied. "But she named you the sole heir in her will." "To what?" "A house, locally called Diya Ghar." The name meant nothing to Esha. Keni continued. "It is in a coastal village called Veri. I should warn you, Miss Karekar. The locals consider the house unusual." "Unusual how?" A pause. "Some say it is cursed." The next morning, Esha took the Konkan railway to Ratnagiri. The journey carried her through green hills, coconut groves, monsoon rivers and tiny villages. At Ratnagiri, she rented a white van and followed a hand-drawn map toward Veri. The village was small. 1 tea stall, a temple, a handful of old houses. But the moment Esha mentioned Diya Ghar, conversation stopped. Finally, an old man looked at her. "That house still breathes," he said. Esha smiled nervously. "I'm only here for legal formalities." The old man shook his head. "Then remember one thing." "What?" "Don't light the lantern." Diya Ghar stood beyond the village, perched dangerously close to the Arabian Sea. It was a magnificent Portuguese-style mansion, built of dark stone and lime plaster. Vines crawled over the walls, and above the main archway hung a brass lantern. It was swinging. There was no wind. Esha unlocked the door. Inside, the house smelled of coconut oil, mildew and camphor. Fresh marigolds lay at the feet of a Ganesha statue. Someone had been there recently. She explored the rooms. Portraits covered the walls. Then she stopped. One woman in an old photograph looked exactly like her. Same eyes. Same scar above the eyebrow. That night, Esha heard someone humming an old lullaby. Then came the sound of anklets. The next morning, she discovered a locked cabinet. Inside were dozens of paintings. Every painting showed a different woman. But every woman had the same eyes, the same scar. And then Esha found one painting dated 1902. The name beneath it made her blood run cold. Esha Karekar. Her own name. She dropped the painting. At that exact moment, the lantern outside suddenly began to glow. Esha stared at it. She was certain she had never lit it. Then she looked into the mirror. A woman in a green sari stood behind her. Esha turned. Nobody was there. She slowly whispered, "Aji." From somewhere deep inside the house, a woman's voice answered, "Welcome home." Esha woke the next morning to the sound of peacocks and the distant sea. For a moment, she forgot where she was. Then she saw the lantern. It was still glowing outside the archway. Even in daylight, Esha began searching the house for answers. In an old rosewood chest, she discovered a visitor register. Most of the pages were faded, but one entry was fresh. "A. Karekar, 12th June, 2023. Return to where it all began. Esha stared at the words. A. Karekar. Her father's name had been Ajay Karekar. He had died in 2005. Why had he come here? And why had he never told her? Before she could think further, the front door opened. A young woman stood there holding a brass tiffin. "My name is Rekha," she said. "My grandmother used to help Vasundhara Bai." Esha asked how she had entered. Rekha smiled. "The door was open. I locked it." Rekha shrugged. "It always opens when someone is expected." She told Esha what the villagers believed. The women of the Karekar family had always been connected to Diya Ghar. Some were born there, some returned there, and some, according to the old stories, returned even after death. "This house remembers," Rekha said. "Some say it records." After Rekha left, Esha discovered a locked wooden door at the end of a corridor. Her key did not fit. Then, without warning, click, the door opened. Inside was an old study, a Remington typewriter, dust-covered books, and a black diary bearing her grandmother's name, Vasundhara Karekar. Esha opened it. The first pages contained warnings. The lantern is not just light. It is a signal. It awakens memories that should remain buried. Then came another sentence. Every Karekar daughter dreams the same dream. Esha's hands trembled. Then she read the line that made her stop breathing. "Esha will return. I have seen her in the mirror." A sound came from behind her. Footsteps. Wet footsteps. Esha turned. The mirror beside the bookshelf reflected a woman in white. Long hair. Pale face. Sad eyes. Esha spun around. The room was empty. Only the diary remained. Its pages began turning by themselves. That night, a storm hit the coast. Thunder shook Diya Ghar. The sea crashed against the cliffs. Unable to sleep, Esha returned to the diary. One sentence caught her attention. "The locked room is the beginning, not the end." She found an old brass lantern inside a trunk. For some reason, she felt compelled to light it. The flame burned strangely steady. She carried it upstairs. At the end of the east staircase stood the locked room. This time, the door opened. Inside was a preserved bedroom, a child's bed, old dolls, an ivory comb, and hundreds of letters. Each letter ended with the same words. "Light the lantern and remember who you were." Then Esha found one envelope. It had her name on it. Esha Karekar. She opened it. Inside was a single message. "You will see her soon. The one who shares your face. Do not run. She will show you what was taken." The lantern flame suddenly flared. Esha looked toward the mirror. Her reflection was gone. A 12-year-old girl was sitting on the bed instead. The girl looked exactly like her. Her lips moved. One word escaped them. Diya. The storm continued through the night. Esha searched Vasundhara's diary for the name she had heard. Diya. Eventually, she found it. A rough drawing showed a young girl standing on a cliff, holding a lantern. Beneath it was a sentence. "She drowned but never left. Her soul waits with the light." And below that, Diya Karekar, 1924, age 12. Esha could barely breathe. The next morning, Vasundhara arrived. Esha confronted her. "Who was Diya?" Vasundhara sat silently for a long moment. "She was your grandfather's cousin's daughter." "How did she die?" "They said she slipped while lighting the lantern during a storm. Her body was never found." Esha stared at her. "That doesn't sound like an accident." Vasundhara lowered her voice. "It wasn't." She told Esha that strange things had happened to the women of the house for generations. Some saw things, some heard voices, some became distant, and some disappeared. "The women of this family have two lives," Vasundhara said. "One in the body, and one in the mirror." That afternoon, Esha stood before the upstairs mirror. Her reflection looked normal, until it blinked. A second too late. Esha stepped backward. No. She looked again. Normal. But she knew something had changed. That evening, she returned to Diya's room. A second lantern had appeared beside the bed. The child's notebook lay open. A new message had appeared. "She is waking. The one who looks like me. She must finish what I could not." Then, asked the well. Esha remembered the old well behind the house. It had been sealed beneath stone slabs. She went there that night. Rain had stopped. The garden was silent. She knelt beside the well. Then she heard something. A hum. A child's song. Soft. Distant. Coming from beneath the stones. Esha leaned closer. The voice sang, Diya Diya, Jale Andhiyara. Esha's eyes filled with tears. She knew the song. She had sung it as a child. But nobody had ever taught it to her. She ran back inside and searched Vasundhara's diary. At the back was a list of names. Tara Karekar, 1899. Anjali Karekar, 1912. Diya Karekar, 1924. Uma Karekar, 1957. Meera Karekar, 1973. And finally, Esha Karekar, 2024. The last name was freshly written. That night, Esha sat awake. The lantern beside her bed swayed gently. Across the room, the mirror reflected her. Then the reflection smiled. Esha did not. She slowly approached the glass. Who are you? The reflection raised one hand. Behind it appeared the image of the old well. Then the girl's lips moved. Come back. The next evening, Esha returned to the well. She found an iron rod. With enormous effort, she moved one of the stone slabs. Darkness opened beneath her. Cold air rose from below. Then, a pale golden light appeared deep inside the well. Esha lowered herself into the darkness. At the bottom was a hidden chamber. And inside it, a wooden box. Esha pulled the wooden box toward her. It was tied with a faded red ribbon. Inside were brittle papers, a cracked porcelain doll, an old photograph and a bronze lantern. The photograph showed Diya. She was standing on the cliff, holding a lantern. Her eyes seemed to follow Esha. Beneath the photograph was a folded letter. Esha opened it. To the one who finds this. The letter explained that the lantern carried the family's stories, pain and hope. The house remembered. The light guided. And someone had to finish what had been begun. The letter was signed, Diya Karekar. Esha returned to the house. She spread the papers across the study table. Among them was an old journal belonging to Vasundhara. A 1919 entry revealed the truth about the curse. Diya's spirit was restless. The women of the family had tried to protect the girls by sealing away their memories and trapping their souls within the lantern's light. But the darkness grew stronger with every generation. Esha confronted Vasundhara. What happened to Diya? Vasundhara finally told her everything. Diya had discovered a secret concerning the Karekar family fortune and land. Her great-grandfather's brother, Ambaresh, had been hiding something. Diya had overheard him. She tried to warn the family. But Ambaresh was afraid that the truth would destroy his reputation and his control over the estate. So he silenced her. The well became her prison. And her grave. Esha stared at Vasundhara. So the accident was a lie. Yes. And the lantern. Her soul was never allowed to leave. Esha knew what she had to do. She had to find Ambaresh's secret. Vasundhara handed her an old brass key marked with a crescent moon. It opens the chest in the attic. Esha climbed upstairs. Dust filled the air. The chest waited beneath her small attic window. The key turned. Inside were ledgers, property documents and a leather-bound journal. Ambaresh's journal. Esha read page after page. Land deals, threats, bribes, plans to seize the Karekar estate. Then she found the final entry. The child who knows too much must be hidden away, or else everything will be lost. Diya will not speak again. Esha's blood ran cold. But the truth went even deeper. Another bundle of letters revealed that Diya had fallen in love with a young man from a rival family. She had planned to run away with him. Ambaresh discovered the plan. He feared scandal. He feared losing the family fortune. So Diya was stopped. She was killed. And her story was buried. Esha closed her eyes. For generations, everyone had allowed the lie to survive. Now she understood the message. She must give Diya her voice. The attic door suddenly slammed shut. Esha turned. The mirror against the wall shimmered. Her reflection stepped out of the glass. A shadowed version of herself stood before her. Its eyes glowed faintly. Do you understand now? It whispered. Esha held the lantern tightly. I want to break the curse. The reflection smiled sadly. Then tell her story. At dawn, Esha walked to the cliff. The Arabian Sea stretched endlessly before her. The lantern hung from her hand. Inside it burned a small, steady flame. She carried everything with her. Diya's letters, the diary, the locket, the evidence of Ambaresh's crime. For the first time, Esha understood that the curse was not simply a supernatural force. It was a prison built from silence. Diya had been killed because she knew too much. Then her family had buried the truth. The house remembered because nobody else would. Esha returned to Diya Ghar. She gathered the villagers. The elders came slowly. Rekha stood beside her. Vasundhara watched from behind. Esha told them everything. She spoke Diya's name. She told them about Ambaresh, the secret land dealings, the forbidden love, the murder, the well, and the lie that had survived for a century. The villagers listened in silence. Some cried. Some lowered their heads. An old man whispered that his grandmother had once told him the story of a girl who vanished with a lantern. But now they finally knew her name. Diya. Not a ghost. Not a curse. A child. A daughter. A girl who had been denied the chance to live her life. That evening, Esha returned alone to the cliff. The sea was calm. She placed the lantern beside a small fire. Then she spoke. To you, Diya. The flame flickered. And to everyone who was forgotten in this house. The wine moved softly around her. I will remember you. The lantern suddenly burned brighter. For a moment, Esha saw a figure standing beyond the fire. A young girl. White sari. Long dark hair. The same eyes. Diya smiled. Esha smiled back. You're free now. The girl's image began to fade. But before disappearing completely, she raised one hand. The lantern's flame pulsed once. Then went out. Esha felt something change inside her. The heaviness was gone. The silence was gone. For the first time, Diya Ghar felt peaceful. When Esha returned, the house seemed different. The shadows were softer. The mirrors reflected only what stood before them. The strange whispers had stopped. And the lantern above the entrance remained dark. The curse was broken. Diya had finally been heard. But Esha knew that the house would always carry its memories. She decided not to sell it. Instead, Diya Ghar would become a place where the family's history could finally be told. A sanctuary of stories. A house of remembrance. Months later, Esha stood once again before the old mirror. She looked at her reflection. It smiled. This time, the reflection smiled at exactly the same moment. Esha laughed softly. Outside, the Arabian Sea rolled against the cliffs. The wind moved through the trees. And somewhere far away, a child seemed to be humming an old lullaby. But there was no fear in the sound. Only peace. Esha closed her eyes. She finally understood. The lantern had never been a source of darkness. It had been a light waiting for someone brave enough to look into the past. Some houses keep secrets. Some houses keep memories. And some houses keep the dead. But when the truth is finally spoken, even the dead can go home. The end. Thank you for being part of STORIQ. If this story stayed with you, leave a like, share it with someone who loves a good story, and subscribe for more immersive audio stories. Visit us at www.thestoriq.com for more. Until we meet again, keep listening, keep imagining, and never stop discovering new stories.